What's going on, y'all? You're listening to another episode of Answering the Inner Call. I'm your host, Malika Lee, and this is a follow up to the previous episode of She Tried It. So, if you haven't heard that, please check that out. It basically details as I've been growing and changing, I've had recent experiences within a couple days' time of experiencing some quote unquote, what some would call tests to those changes. Am I going to continue in the direction I'm going? Am I going to back down and go back to old patterns, give my power away, accept treatment that is not aligned and self-honoring, etc., etc.? So I wanted to follow up with a growth and development and uncovering that happened after my previous episode. So in one of the three women I detail, giving examples of, she tried it. Basically, there was one person that was providing a service that I talked about and that she had spoken to me rudely, kept interrupting me. I knew she was stressed, all that stuff. And so what ended up happening, I think I detailed this, but I'll just recap that. What happened was I found someone else to complete the service for me that I was trying to get this other person to do when I was just like, you know what? At this grown age, I'm not going to pay anybody to be disrespected. And so this other person that provided me with a service, basically, long story short, they work off of the same system. So the first person that was disrespectful tried to take credit for the work that the other person did in this shared system. And long story short, the person who did assist me, because I had a follow-up meeting with them, when she realized she couldn't find me in the system, she had given me the contact information of managers and, higher ups to basically file a report, right? To communicate what my experience had been and all that good stuff. So I took the information, and on Monday when I was meditating, and the Holy Spirit just started to reveal some things to me, and it was asking me, and I want to say this before I get into it. So I have mentioned before, I'm a student of A Course in Miracles, which talks about at all time we're choosing between two things, love and fear. That means that from the outside that we do something, in a lot of religions and a lot of faith-based spaces, there's a lot of attention spent on what we do externally. Do you go to church every Sunday? Do you pay your tithes? Like all these outward expressions of what I consider to be what's an inner relationship. So what the Course says is that on the outside, it doesn't matter what you do. It's who you do it with. Are you doing it with the energy of what the Course calls the Holy Spirit, which is the energy of love? Or are you doing it with the energy of the ego, which the Course calls fear? So basically, it challenges us to look at what is our intention underlying the actions that we take. So in the morning when I was meditating and the Holy Spirit started speaking to me and showing me how it had extended grace to me when I had made mistakes in the past and, will continue to do so. And I just had a very strong sense that I was to extend this person that I had a not so great service experience with grace. And what that looked like for me was not writing up a complaint. And it's like, what would be the intention underlying that? And so, listening to the Spirit, it was just like, okay, extend this person grace. I was shown experientially the times of which I had made mistakes and had been extended grace. And so I chose to extend this grace looking on my sister and also recognizing that what my intentions were, what my objectives were outwardly were fulfilled, right? I got the services done that I wanted to get done. They were done in the time in which I wanted them to get done. And because, like I said, they share a system, even though I went to a different service provider, there were people that were notified and aware of this, inappropriate or unprofessional unprofessional interaction that I had had with this person. And so I was like, okay, well, all my objectives are fulfilled. And the other thing is, do I want to spend the energy doing all this with what I have going on this week? And what is my end game? What is my intention? And so it was just such a very interesting and unexpected inner lesson, because it reminded me, and I still, even with this person, even though I set boundaries with them, I was like, oh, they're stressed out, because I had previous exchanges with them and did not get that same energy. And so it was just like, let me extend her some grace as I hope and have been extended grace. Let me offer some compassion. And at the same time, it's a delicate balance of not accepting people's poor behavior and disrespect, right? Like, we shouldn't have to swallow that, stomach that, whatever. And what is the line of honoring ourselves and also giving people grace? And the other thing of that is, like, when we can get stuck in our judgment of people, that also is a double-edged sword of, usually people who are very judgmental and very black and white. And it's the principle of the thing. They usually don't extend grace to themselves, or if they do, then it's because they blame other people for their behavior. And I just felt called to offer the follow-up. So I did communicate that I wasn't going to pursue any further action, and that it wasn't a good use of my time and energy, and that my objective was fulfilled, and that I hoped that with what had come across so far, because I did communicate directly to the person that was providing the service, like, this isn't working for me. I did communicate, that all the actions I had already taken up until now were enough, and that I hoped that if there was some kind of action or lesson on their side, that I had done my part, but that was all I was going to do. I wasn't going to go overboard or extend myself and give too much more energy to this, aside from sharing it with all of you. And I want to be very clear that in other instances, this doesn't mean not to stand up for ourselves. This doesn't mean, for me, because I can tend to, in the past, not like to ruffle feathers or challenge people in ways that could be uncomfortable. And I've had to work through that. And I've learned that, and sometimes I've had to, like, take people to court. Real talk. Like, that was like another season of my life where it was just like, oh, no. This is not cool. This is not right. I have to assert myself here and stand up for myself. And it's a delicate balance, and a balance of just trusting, guidance and using our energy wisely. So I wanted to just offer that as a follow-up, because that was a beautiful extension of and continuation of the experience that I had had just the day before. And I wanted to share it with all of you as a follow-up, and I think a punctuation, a period to that experience. I hope if you got something out of this, some kind of reflection, then I hope that you will like, comment, subscribe. Feel free, if you're coming into a place where you are asserting yourself, where you're changing and people are trying you and testing you and you want some support, if there's anything beneficial you've gotten from this, please feel free to click the link in my bio for a consult to explore us working together. And keep going. Do your thing. You got this, girl or guy. You got this. They, them, you got this. Much love, many blessings. Till the next time. Peace.